Hey there, stop. Hey there, budding botanists. I'm Aaron.
I'm Evie.
We're just a couple of backyard botanists, and this is Botany for Kids. And today, what are we talking about? Echinaceas. So we're looking at a flower that's typically pink. It's a native flower, and it's one that is commonly grown, although most people only grow one type of species, and there are all kinds of them in this group of Echinaceas, this group or this genus. And so we're going to look at some of the species we have and kind of compare and contrast the ways they're different.
And go back in time to look at them, because not all of them were blooming at the same time.
Yes, exactly. Some of them started blooming early May, and then we'll talk about the order that they bloom, which is
June.
Yeah, all the way to early June. And that's one of the things that makes them different, right? The different blooming times. And we'll look at the different physical characteristics as well. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this is our first coneflower, and this is smooth coneflower, or Echinacea levigata. And it's super special because it's one of the rarer plants in the United States. This was endangered for the longest time, but it's doing a little bit better. So now it's been delisted down to threatened. And so this is one of the earlier blooming Echinaceas. It blooms very early May here in North Carolina. And once again, what separates it or sets it apart from the other species of Echinacea is that it's smooth. The palea, or the palea, these little pokey orange things on top here, protect the seeds. And you'll see in the other species that sometimes these are different colors. So once again, smooth coneflower, Echinacea levigata, smooth, blooms first in the season compared to the other Echinaceas. Let's go check out some more.
This is an Echinacea pallida, or pale purple coneflower, as the cone is purple. It has a hairy stem, and if you can see, there are a few little thin hairy leaves at the bottom.
Very good. And this one actually blooms next after smooth coneflower, a couple weeks, about mid-May. I lost you. Where did you go?
Hi!
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, this is the best blooming set of so this is a Echinacea tennesseean. It's a Tennessee coneflower.
Talk a little louder.
Yeah.
Tennessee coneflower, yeah.
Tennessee
Yeah.
And it has a hairy stem, like the rest of them mostly, but its petals are pointing up. I am being stabbed by a few other plants right now, but as you can see, they're pointing up instead of out, and to the side they go up.
Yeah, we call that reflex. The petals are reflex, they point up. What about the leaves? What do the leaves look like?
They are pretty much the same as the rest of them, but they are smaller, as it is very much smaller. They are also hairy.
Yeah, they're hairy like the rest, but very, very, very skinny. And when does this one bloom?
The end of May.
Yep, this one blooms end of May, after pale purple coneflower and after smooth coneflower. I can barely, it's hard to see you in the grass over there. This is the last blooming Echinacea that we have here in the garden. This is the common purple coneflower, or Echinacea purpurea. And it is the most herbaceous, meaning that it's got a lot of leaves on the plant. And it's very, very bushy. And what we're gonna do, this is the first one to bloom, and the other Echinaceas are at the end of their blooming here in the beginning of June. And so we're gonna snip this and we'll take a look comparing it against the other Echinaceas we have here in the garden. It's not all the Echinaceas, there's a ton of different species, but this is a good way to learn how to compare different species in the same group or genus. Sound good?
Look at how many there are scattered around. There's so many of the same type of flower.
We should.
I should what?
Okay.
Okay, hello everyone. So now we've got all the different Echinaceas that we've got in the garden here all together, so we can compare and contrast some of their characteristics, okay? What do we got first?
Basic purple one.
So this is purple coneflower, Echinacea purpurea. What are some of its distinguishing characteristics?
It is more bushy than the others. It is purple.
More bushy.
Believe it or not.
Yeah,
and it has thick leaves.
I don't know why they call it purple. They say because the cone is purple, but there's actually one that has a purple cone on it.
Like You're telling me that's more purple than that.
Yeah.
And this is called pale purple? Come on.
Yeah, so that's Echinacea pallida, or pale purple coneflower. What is the stem on that one like?
This one is hairy, but not too hairy, and like
What about
flashy.
What about the leaves
And
compared
it
to
has
these?
very thin leaves compared to the purple.
Thinner, yeah, this purple coneflower, the one that's most common in gardens right now, and is just now starting to bloom, has these oval-shaped leaves on it. And remember, these cones on the top, are we stuck? These cones on the top have these little spiky things that are called palea. A single one is called a palea, and they're just little like seed protectors. And they're an important characteristic of helping compare and contrast the different species. So pale purple, what else we got?
We have, this is the Tennessee coneflower.
Tennessee coneflower, what's special about that one?
It has its petals go up, it grows upwards.
Yeah, it has reflexed petals, and what's the stem like?
And it is kind of hairy and rough, but no more than the pale purple one. And yet again, pretty thin leaves.
Yeah, very, very skinny leaves. And what about, what's the last one?
It's smooth cone. Even though its cone is not smooth, its stem is smooth.
Smooth stem, smooth leaves, smooth coneflower. This one is recently threatened, right? Tennessee coneflower is also a threatened species. This one was endangered for years and years and years, but quite a bit of successful conservation has helped it be not quite as endangered as it once was in some areas. So you want to do a quiz?
Okay.
All right, so let's close our eyes and see if we can't pick out what's what. So open up your eyes. This one.
Well, it has two things.
What is it?
Pale purple.
Pale purple, purple cone, kind of hairy, thin leaves. What about this one?
It's smooth cone.
Smooth coneflower.
It's smooth and dying.
Smooth, yeah, this one, why is this one dying? Because that's a really good point. So these all bloom at different times too. Smooth coneflower blooms first early May, and then we've got pick up pale purple. Mid-May we get
Also dying currently. It is June 1st.
we get, yeah, that one blooms starting about mid-May, and then towards the end of May we get Tennessee coneflower, and then in the beginning of June the regular coneflowers or purple coneflower starts to bloom. And so not only do these have different physical characteristics, but they also have different bloom times, right? And then of course we have the last one, which is purple coneflower. What are the giveaways?
We didn't talk about the Tennessee one, but the giveaway is not only are they purple, they have kind of a rounder cone almost. It's bigger and it's bushier.
Bushier, oval-shaped leaves.
Bit
Yes,
less
yes.
hairy
I
than
know
the
I didn't
others.
quiz you on this one because I figured you would get it quite easily. So, anyways, this is the time of year you'll start to see Echinaceas starting to bloom. Oh no, you broke the stem on the smooth coneflower. You may see these in gardens. You may have them in your garden. You may see them in garden centers. If you're lucky, you'll see some of them blooming on the side of the road. They're native to certain areas around the United States, although not all areas. And so we just wanted to compare and contrast some of the more common Echinaceas. There are lots of other Echinacea species. So now you get a feel for what makes different species unique, right? They're all in the same group, the same genus, Echinaceas, but they're all different species because they all have their own special characteristics that make each one of them special. As always, I'm Aaron.
I'm Amy.
We're just a couple of backyard botanists, and this is Botany for Kids.